Hi, I'm Linda and welcome to Life on Summerhill. Today we will be talking about paint finishes and where to put them in your home. So let's get started. You might be asking, what is a paint finish? Or some people call it a paint sheen. Well, basically, a paint finish is the luster of the paint. It starts from a flat and it goes all the way up to a shiny high gloss. A long time ago, there were basically 4 paint finishes: flat, eggshell, semi-gloss, and gloss. But today we have multiple paint finishes. And depending upon the company, we have different names. But we're going to just talk about the 4 basic paint finishes. Let's start with flat. Flat is basically the paint finish that has the least amount of luster. In fact, it has no luster. It's a great finish for a new construction home where they want to paint the whole space. It's wonderful at hiding imperfections, but it cannot be washed. So if you want a washable finish, you need to go up to the next one, which is satin or eggshell. Now, satin or eggshell is great for any room in the house. It's washable, it has a tiny bit of shine, and it looks beautiful on walls. It also can be used on furniture, on cabinets, and other things. It's a great all-around finish for your home. Now let's talk about semi-gloss. Semi-gloss is great for your trim, your baseboard, your crown mold, the trim around your fireplace, the trim around your windows, the list goes on. It's a great finish for kitchen cabinets, for bathroom cabinets, for front doors, for interior doors. I think you get where I'm going with this. It has a really good washability to it, so it's very practical in places where there's a lot of traffic or a lot of use. And last, let's talk about high gloss. High gloss is a beautiful high luster finish. It has a glossy, almost wet look to it. The washability is really good, and a lot of times people will use it on front doors, shutters. They'll use it on their trim in their homes. It's a wonderful finish. So now let's go room by room in my house and I'll show you some examples of where I've used these finishes. Okay, so we're going to start in my entryway, which is where I used a satin eggshell and I used a semi-gloss on the trim and the wainscoting. Now, this is all the same color, but because it is different finishes, it looks different. So if you want that uniform look, I've got a room to show you where I painted my trim and my wall the same finish. Okay, so now we're in my bedroom, and in this bedroom I used the same finish on the wall and the trim. So as you can see, the door is a satin finish over here, and then the wall is a satin finish. So this allowed it to come out the same color. Okay, in the bathroom, a great place to use the semi-gloss paint finish is on your trim and your walls if you have a bathroom that has a high moisture issue and you're going to need to wash it a lot, maybe even spray it with some sort of mildew remover. So I would recommend a semi-gloss in the bathroom if you have a lot of moisture issues. Now in my bathroom, I have a eggshell satin on the wall and I have a semi-gloss on the wainscoting that's about halfway up and goes all the way to the floor. Okay, so in the laundry room, it's another great candidate for a semi-gloss or a satin eggshell. So in my laundry room, the walls are all a satin eggshell, and even my cabinet I did a satin eggshell because I wanted that matte look. And if you want a matte look, I would highly recommend satin on your cabinets. Okay, so in your hallway is another good candidate for satin and eggshell, and then semi-gloss or gloss on your trim. Okay, so we're in my kitchen area, and the kitchen is a great place to use a satin, eggshell, or a semi-gloss. So for this batten board design, I used a semi-gloss, and up here above it, I used an eggshell satin. And then to give you an example of flat, my ceiling, which is a popcorn ceiling, has a flat finish, but you can use flat on any finish on your ceiling. Okay, so in your dining room, it's another great candidate for the eggshell satin and semi-gloss and high gloss on your trim. This room does get a lot of activity, and if food gets on the walls or on the trim, it's easy to wash off. Okay, so now we're on my back porch, and your exterior is a good candidate for a satin or eggshell finish. You can also use semi-gloss on your exterior, on your shutters, your doors, or you can use a high gloss. But I also want to show you the porch ceiling. It has a satin finish also. Now, why did I use a satin on the ceiling on the porch, but I used a flat on the ceiling of my home interior? Well, basically, you need something that's washable. You need to be able to wash your ceiling and your walls and everything on your exterior. So that's why I went with a satin on my porch ceiling. Okay, so now we're in my office, and a great candidate for a finish in your office is a satin on the walls, a semi-gloss or high gloss on your trim. But in my office, I wanted a uniform color. I wanted the same color on the walls, and I wanted the same color on the trim, so I did them all in the satin finish. Okay, so now we're in my living room, and like before, it's a good candidate for eggshell satin and for your trim to be semi-gloss or high gloss. In my living room, my walls are a satin, and my trim over here is a semi-gloss. But then if you look over at my mantle, that is also a semi-gloss. I hope you've enjoyed this video on how to pick a paint finish for your home. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.